Like you were saying, we have Indians spread across the world, almost in every country. And when we make films, we particularly make films for the Indians, Indian diaspora in the other countries. Even Bahubali was the same. The additional mileage that we got for Bahubali was in Japan. It did good to an extent, and somehow, even though I believed my stories can go beyond the borders of my states, I never thought they will go beyond the borders of my people or the Indians. So when Bahubali did well in Japan, I thought, okay, maybe their sensibilities are closer. So I thought I should concentrate more on seeing how my films work in the eastern side of India. Never ever I expected RRR to do well with the Western audiences. I didn't even have an inclination towards that. And when RRR released and when I started getting the responses one by one, I thought, okay, maybe there are few. Then, then few went to hundreds went into thousands, and there were people, story writers, directors, critics, people from different fields talking highly about RRR. Then I realized something that I never knew about myself or my films. So even now I can't say that I know something. So I thought the sensibilities are different, but I came to know the sensibilities also can be similar between my way of storytelling and the Western way of storytelling. I'm still trying to understand, to be very frank. So I never expected. Okay, India had this rich history of storytelling. Indians have a penchant for telling everything in a story. Even the deepest philosophies, they tell in story forms. So our biggest treasures are Mahabharata and Ramayana, the epics, and I grew upon them from my childhood. And of all the languages that are all the film fields in the country, Telugu films made more. Telugu film industry made more films on these epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata, and I liked them from my childhood because it had so much of action and drama. That is my main attraction point. So I thought if we can take the same, not the same story as it is, but if you can take the essence of what we had on this epics and translate it onto the screen, then Telugu films needn't be only for Telugu-speaking people. It can grow beyond that. So that's how I started doing. Slowly, it came to the film Bahubali, where it really crossed the borders, and then people started noticing, okay, India is not just about Bollywood. There are some other industries as well, and particularly about my field, which is the Telugu film industry. One thing I believe that at least now that because Western audiences are liking my films, if I suddenly change my perspective and start thinking about how should I make a Western film now, I don't think that's going to work out. I have certain way of storytelling, and I need constantly I need to fine tune myself. I should constantly be bettering myself, but that doesn't mean I completely change the way I'm narrating my stories. Then I wouldn't. It would be like traveling on two boats. You're on neither. So I think I should still stick to my way of storytelling, but I should better myself, and I also should keep in mind that I have more audiences to whom I can tell my story. But the essential thing there is it should be my story, not someone else's story. Then I wouldn't be going anywhere. You're giving me a big word, pioneer. I still don't know. I'm still in my nascent steps. So let's see. I'm thinking this is the way to go forward. So if this is successful, then probably then it will become a pioneering way of how to tell your stories to the world. Advice would be the same for any filmmaker, Indian filmmaker or Canadian filmmaker, anywhere in the world. Yeah, you need to find a story that resonates with you, that you would really, really, really want to tell that story to the audiences. Then you also need to figure out who those audiences are. I mean, you can't always nail them. I didn't know that RRR had Western audiences, so we can't always nail them, but at least you should figure out, okay, these are the audiences that I'm at least targeting. And this is the story I want to tell, and you should, then you go all out. You should have I mean, story can be written anywhere, any place. There is no boundary to it. At least you should have some kind of framework where you can get your thoughts together and to make one sense and one understanding.